Coming up on 716, Doc Osgood's at mic number 2. Good morning,
Here we are.
sir. How you been?
Hey, I'm doing great. It seems like I was just talking to you.
Yeah.
Back on
I like
the
when you
radio.
come in, though, because we always have a good time.
Well, there's always good stuff to talk about when it comes to chiropractic care, too, because there's so much misinformation about chiropractic care and about things maybe that you've heard have, have you ever heard that, oh, don't go see a chiropractor, they'll break your neck, or if you've ever heard any of that stuff, it's misinformation. We actually have a part on our website about misinformation. Mm-hmm. You can go to our website and there's an actual section there about misinformation about chiropractic care, and we kind of debunk the myths basically of chiropractic care. And one of the sections on there is what do we help? And that's what we're on today. Is if you go to the website, you can go to What Do We Help? And it's just right there on the left-hand side of the website. But there's all kinds of conditions that chiropractic care can help with. And one of those that we talk about today is pregnancy. Yeah, we talked about that last time too. But pregnancy...
And I would have never thought, but I see the advantages.
Yeah, I mean, if you read that especially, you can see that... because of the stresses that are put on a pregnant woman's spine, there's a lot, when you have the weight that is out front there, and you basically have a real imbalance there with the weight, it really puts a lot of strain on the discs of the lower back and those structures of the lower back that kind of support you. So a lot of women end up having problems with a lot of lower back pain during pregnancy, and a lot of problems with with having to have a little, maybe longer labor times, or back pain in labor, or back labor, what they talk about. And so there's a lot of things that chiropractic care can do to help that, and just simple adjusting of the lumbar spine will help take care of most of the problems that you have with when it comes to pregnancy and chiropractic care. So I tell you what, if you have never seen someone who has benefited from chiropractic care from pregnancy, when they come in the office, a lot of times it's well into the pregnancy, and so they're already having some problems. They're already having some pain.
Oh, my lower back hurts. My hips hurt.
Yeah, and you can really see the benefits right away just from getting the spine adjusted. They, they right away they get off the table typically and go, "Wow, actually, there's some relief there." And it's you carry it around for 9 months. You're carrying a little extra weight around the whole time, and so and things are changing during the pregnancy too, and your body's changing. The pelvis is the shape is changing in the pelvis. All of that is getting ready for the pregnancy. So we talked about last time that after they give birth, remodeling of that pelvis happens, and if you can be adjusted while you're remodeling that pelvis, it really does help the shape and helps form the shape to be correct afterwards, and then you don't have so many problems with the sacroiliac joints and lumbar vertebrae themselves.
So how soon should a woman come in for adjustment after she learns she's expecting?
Yeah.
Well, I would think it'd be advantageous throughout the entire.
It is, and then we have typically they're right away, and throughout the pregnancy, we'll see them. Whether depending on the case, if they've got really bad pain, we might see them fairly frequently in the beginning. But if they just want to maintain a healthy spine throughout pregnancy, a lot of times what we'll do is see them either once a week or every other week. For throughout the pregnancy, and then once it gets closer to time of birth, we might see them a little more frequently, typically once a week before they give birth. And the importance after the child is born as well. Yeah, after the child's born, reshaping, remodeling, making sure that everything is the sacroiliac joints move like they should, and everything just goes back to place. And we talked about before about kids in chiropractic too. People have their kids adjusted after they give birth too, and I've adjusted my kids right after they were born as well, and I continue to adjust my kids too. Sometimes they'll get adjustments once a week. It just depends on the activity level that your kid has. You think about how many things that your kid does when it comes to sports and all kinds of activities that throw their spines out of alignment pretty easily. And so when it comes to that, if you do look at the website, you'll see a section there on kids and chiropractic, and there's so many topics there that are covered that are really good. And if you don't really understand chiropractic and what chiropractic can do for you, you'll get a good education just from going to the website.
Let's piece this together. Okay, you've got a newborn child, a new mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there throughout the pregnancy, so she's basically had the spine aligned, so to speak. The child is born. Now it's time to get back to normal.
Right.
As the child grows, how many times does a young child fall down on their bottom while trying to learn to walk?
Right.
This and that, you think, well, he's fine. Well, what about falling down and hitting his head or hitting his bottom?
Sure.
Or it jars the daylights out of me.
It does, and it does create issues later on.
Together, I'm looking now with children's health.
Right.
So now as they get older, they're on the trampoline, they're on a tricycle, they're on the swings, the slide, whatever it may be. You never know.
Yeah.
I think it's good for kids.
It is very good for kids. And there again, misinformation is out there about, kids don't need chiropractic care. And I have had actually some folks try to, because our kids covers chiropractic care. And I have had issues sometimes with certain MDs not wanting to give referrals for chiropractic care. Oh, they don't need that. Kids don't need chiropractic care. Well, that's not true. And anybody who tells you that is misinformed. So that's that misinformation on what chiropractic care does and what chiropractic care helps with. And so, you have to have a referral as an ARKids person to be able to see a chiropractor. And we get those all the time. It's a very common practice. But occasionally you'll see that, they don't need that. But they do. They really do. And kids benefit greatly from chiropractic adjustments, especially kids who are really, really active in sports. We have a lot of kids who participate in sports who are, they do really well with chiropractic adjusting.
Ear infections, bedwetting, ADHD. Thank you. Scoliosis, growing pains. I remember as a child, my legs and back would hurt.
Right.
Of course, I got tall quick.
Right.
I'd be, for instance, I had a cousin in Neelyville, Missouri, that was like 5'1" when I was like 5'9", 5'10".
Right.
And all of a sudden, he shot up and became taller than me.
The growth process it's a big factor when it comes to bone structure as well, and the bones of the spine. If a kid is adjusted throughout that growth process, it only ensures that the functionality of the spine is improving each step of that growth process. And so as the spine grows, as those growth plates start to fuse together, when you are adjusted on a regular basis, it just means that those vertebrae work like they're supposed to, work properly, and the growth process, it goes a whole lot smoother. We find that everybody just stays in a whole lot better shape.
After becoming one of your patients, this makes a whole lot more sense. And I want to invite people to take the challenge. I don't care if your feet, your knees, your ankles, your hips, your upper, lower back, your neck, you're having headaches, whatever it may be, call Doc Osgood, because what he tells you will work. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
Had I not experienced what I did in your office, I thought, can't be.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Right.
I understand it. I know exactly where you're coming from. And I can see this with children. I can remember as a kid, 11, 12, 13 years old, my lower back hurt. And it's hurt all my life.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you took the x-rays and you have the skeletal model, took your pen. Now, this is this. It's like me pointing to somebody on a car. Here's your spark plugs, here's your alternator, here's your radiator.
Right.
And you were saying here.
Right.
You explained it. It makes sense. And to be aligned the way that it's supposed to be.
It's one of those things where the spine has soft tissues, just like a car has soft tissues. And when
bushings.
Bushings. And when your spine is not aligned properly, and then you use it or run it for years that way, then you're going to wear on those soft tissues incorrectly. And if you can get aligned, it avoids that wear and tear, basically.
And with the ear infections, I remember when my children did that. Proper alignment of the sinus. What do you call that? The sinus cavity.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to the ears, what we would do is we would adjust the actual upper cervical area, the neck, and the actual ears themselves can be adjusted. There's an actual adjustment to help drain the eustachian tubes.
There you go. And if it's not properly aligned,
you'll get
what would
blockages.
happen if the plumbing under your sink, you've got a double sink in your kitchen, perhaps?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, misalign the pipes that drain the water.
Right. And
what's going to happen?
And they're not going to drain properly.
Yeah. Then it stagnates.
Yeah. And so it happens that way with the ears, eustachian tubes. They get blocked up, and you can actually. There's a certain technique that we use that will help to unblock those and let those drain properly.
Mm-hmm. Your location and phone number, please, sir.
Mountain Home Family Chiropractic is right across the street from Affordable Insurance and Centennial Bank, and right up the street from here. So it's 425-4424. Give us a call, especially if you've been just dealing with stuff, living with stuff, and, not sure if we can help or not. Hey, if you're not sure if we can help, send me an email. Go to the website and send me an email. That's the easiest way to do it. I have a lot of people who ask me questions, and I really love getting emails from people. So do that, or just call us and get in there. And the first visit's just $37 to get X-rays, scan, and everything. Figure out what's going on with you. Then we can give you a game plan on what to do to fix you.
Doc Osgood helped me and continues to help me, and I invite you to give him a call at 425-4424 or send him an email. Doc Osgood will get you pain-free. Right,
there you go.
There you go. Time for the news. We'll be right back.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas. This is Jerry with you again today. Dale's giving me a little rundown of the board. In the studio today, we have Lisa from Camps Plants, and this is Lloyd's daughter.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The one and only.
And with Lisa, we have 4 fine young men who are very well behaved sitting in the studio. We have Jason, Jarrett, Stephen, and Braxton.
Yay! Welcome, guys.
Anyway, Lisa, how's it going out there at the greenhouses?
Busy. Very, very busy. Trying to get everything ready for spring, getting all of our plants moved around to our different locations, and watching the weather.
Now, what is your job description, I guess? You are like the supervisor, aren't you?
I would think more of like jack of all trades, master of none would probably fit me well. Now, normally, I just help Dad keep things going, keep the crew lined out, help him get everything planted. And then when we actually open the stores, a lot of times I'm down at the 62 location, just kind of helping around the cash register, helping customers out, giving advice, whether it's wanted or not.
But now you can run that operation. It seems to me when I went out there that you were fixing some kind of water fixture. So, I mean,
yeah,
you get into the plumbing and the thermo heat and all this other stuff.
I help do the plumbing, electrical, run the equipment, load mulch, whatever. I mean, whatever needs to be done. Drive the semis. It doesn't matter if it needs to be done out there. I can more than likely at least pretend to get through it.
Fake it till you make it. Get her done.
That's it. Absolutely. Faking it till you make it. That's true.
And I noticed when I went out there, y'all had quite a few female staff employees out there. And this is hard work. I mean,
It is very, very hard work.
I mean, very demanding. But as I was talking to Lloyd, the females can actually make out better than some of the men folk.
On a lot of things, when you get into planting those little tender plants, you just, I don't know, woman's touch maybe, I don't know, but some of that stuff is so fragile that you just really have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to pay attention to detail so you don't end up breaking it all. Now, I'm not going to say that it's totally a woman's profession. I mean, these 4 boys that's sitting in here with me today, every one of them has been helping plant, and I'm talking little stuff. You know, we'll get out there and we'll start planting them up into our 804 packs, and they'll get in there after school or over spring break or whatever, and I mean, they'll just dig in there and help us out too.
All right, so you got you a crew here, man.
You betcha. I got a crew that works solely on tips. Once the greenhouse opens up, when they get out of school, I'll run down and pick them up from school and take them back out to the 62 location with me. And I've got one standing here, my oldest, Steven. He, honestly, he drives my forklifts down there for me. He runs my Bobcat for me. Any piece of equipment pretty much that we have, he can operate it. That again may be one of those faking it till you making it on occasion, but he's very good. He's very careful with what he does. I've got a couple others here that's kind of learning the trade on a little bit of that stuff. They're not quite observant enough just yet to take it on their own. But they like to get out there and help customers. They'll pull our wagons around for them and help them take their stuff to their car and load it up. And I think they kind of have a race on some days to see who can earn the most tips. So
there you go. Competition is healthy.
You betcha it is. You betcha.
And they are all, you and them are mainly at the 62 location.
After the season opens, yeah, for the most part. Now, granted, I'm not going to say that I'm there every day because there are still times that I'm at Midway, whether it be loading loads for our other locations or taking some of the loads to the other locations. Over the past couple of weeks, I've actually been to a couple of our locations in central Missouri, just trying to get them ready for opening season. But yeah, I'm kind of here, there, and everywhere.
So, yeah, I guess the winter wasn't too bad for you this year. Y'all come out okay on that.
I think for the most part we did. For the most part we did.
And
last winter we ended up with a new greenhouse down at 62 because of it. We had our big retail location out there collapsed with the snow and ice, and we cut it all out in the month of January, freezing, and rebuilt it so that it was ready for the spring again. But yeah, we're pretty good this year, I think.
So you got her fixed up, rebuilt, and ready to roll.
Absolutely.
And then y'all do the Highland store, I guess.
We do. We have one that sits over at Highland, which is, for those of y'all that don't know where Highland is, it's in between Ash Flat and Hardy. Sits right up there on the main road. You can't miss it. And then we've got one over at Harrison that, if all goes well, we'll be taking plants over there tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Trying to get my days out. Tomorrow is April 1st.
Absolutely,
okay.
April 1st. That's our official opening date. Now, Highland's location may be the 2nd or 3rd before we get over there, but we're still watching a little bit of weather. I think Friday night, we're calling in the mid-30s, I believe, if I'm not right, or if I'm not wrong. But, so definitely, I mean, we're kind of at that little breaking point here where everybody's getting spring fever, but guys, watch those night temperatures, because if it's getting down to where it could frost, you guys could spend a lot of money and just lose it all, because it gets frosted on. So if you buy now, I wouldn't probably put it in just yet. Make sure that those nighttime lows are going to stay up where they need to be, for no frost. But then once we hit that breaking point, then man, go crazy with it.
Yeah, it is a tricky time of the year to be guessing what's going on. We're right on that teeter point. So. Absolutely.
And that's one thing we really try to watch on our end, because we don't want to take stuff out ourselves, and get it out to locations that may not have the adequate, sheltering from frost, and get it bit before the customers can even buy it, So that's why we're running just a little bit later this year than we have, the last couple. I think we've been open by now the last couple of years, but just the weather pattern this year just hasn't allowed for it.
Yeah, I never thought of that. I was kind of being selfish, thinking, well, I don't want to buy a little plat of plants and lose them all. Good Lord, y'all are on a major level of playing.
Major level. Absolutely. And while I'm thinking about it right now, for all of you guys that's out there that has your patio pots already, as far as the pot goes, if you have some of those or window boxes, or if you're looking at putting in a new flower bed, or maybe just revamp an old one, if you guys will pay really close attention to how much sunlight that gets, and I'm not necessarily talking about the north side of the house or the south side of the house or the east side of the house or the west side of the house, because I don't know what kind of trees you have in your yard that makes for shade, okay? But if anybody's out there and they want some ideas of maybe something different than what they've done in the past, but they don't really know what'll work there, if you'll pay really close attention to how many hours of sunlight a day that location gets, come down to 62 or any of our locations for that matter, and talk to one of us, because, I mean, I like to talk, okay? So if you guys come out there, talk to me. I can give you some ideas of maybe even some newer stuff that's come in, or maybe something that's not real common, you know, but that is very beautiful, that may work in that location to kind of revamp and give you a new look.
Very cool. Now, I guess you've been doing this your whole life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And do you stay on the new cutting edge way to grow stuff and new products, or is that your responsibility?
No. I let Dad take care of most of that.
Don't mess with old Dad.
You betcha. You know, he's got a whole lot more experience than I do in all this. Yeah, I was raised in it, but, you know, as a kid, really, how much do you pay attention, okay? You know, as of recent, you know, I've kind of been looking at some more, you know, since he's kind of thrown me out there on the retail end of it. You know, you can only fake it till you make it there for so long, you know. So you kind of have to know what you're doing to deal with the public and give the advice that actually works. But I'm going to tell you something that has been a real big hit the last couple of years or so is black petunias.
Yeah.
Huh.
They are beautiful. I mean, just beautiful. And there's something that, you know, you look at a petunia and, yeah, they're pretty cool too, but you get a black petunia and those things are different. They're very interesting. They have a very different look to them, but they will last you all summer long. I actually planted 2 of them at my house in my flower bed last year.
Wow.
But, I mean, they're awesome. You can do hanging baskets with them. You can do just regular patio pots with them. You can put them in your flower bed if you want to. But that's just kind of, I mean, that's one that really sticks out to me as far as something that's really unique that not just a whole lot of people really knows about. Mm-hmm. But it's something definitely to look in for. It gives a very, very good contrast to any mix that you're doing.
Oh, you sold me. You just said black petunia. And now I have to have one.
Yeah, yeah. And they are in full bloom right now, too.
Wow.
I've got a section of them out at Midway that, I mean, are just blooming like crazy and are just as pretty as they can be.
All right, folks. You heard that. Midway location. Black petunias out there.
And we'll have them in all the locations as soon as we get all of our stuff pulled and get them moved.
Here tomorrow.
But they will be there.
Uh-huh. Well, very good. Any other interesting deals like your black petunias?
Well, one more thing, too, that's new to us this year. Now, obviously, the mulch end of it is not new to us, but we have started carrying cedar mulch this year.
Okay.
We've got it dyed, and we've also got it in natural. So, along with the fact that all of our dyed mulch in the past has been bug resistant, the dye itself had a bug resistance in it. But this year, the mulch, the wood of the mulch, is going to have its own bug resistance in itself, a natural bug resistance. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about. Oh, yeah, I love the smell of cedar. But, yeah, that's one thing that we've got that's new to us this year is the fact that we do have the cedar mulch. Other than that, offhand, as far as new types of flowers, that's the one that just really always sticks out in my head is those black petunias. Now, granted, we do carry several items that are kind of off the ordinary, that are very, very beautiful. But my suggestion is just come out and look and see.
Hey, that's the best thing. I mean, first-hand experience. We are going to take a short break. It is time for our Sean Hannity update, and we will be back with Lisa. And we are in the studios today with Lisa from Camps Plants. Anything you want to touch on?
Well, I think at this point in time, I think I'm going to turn this microphone over to my kids. I think I've said just about enough.
All right, let's get them up there. Who have we got first here?
We have
Introduce
Jason.
yourself.
What's your name?
Jason.
Jason, and you go to Mountain Home Christian Academy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what grade are you in?
What grade are you?
You have to talk to me now. What grade are you?
First grade.
First grade. Okay, who do we got up next
Right over
here?
here, mic number 4, Jerry, right here.
Stephen.
My,
Right here.
That was yours.
I believe this boy coming up here is our forklift driver. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is your name?
Steven.
And what grade are you in, Stephen?
Third.
Third grade. Y'all, you like school? All right.
We got some fine boys here.
And who's up
your
next here?
Jared.
Jared. And what grade are you in?
First.
First grade. Couple first graders and one third grader so far.
So far.
And the one in the back here, what's your name?
Braxton.
Braxton. And what grade are you in?
Third.
2 thirds and 2 firsts.
And they've all got Mountain Home Christian Academy shirts on.
You
That's a
betcha.
good sign.
You betcha.
That's a good deal.
Let me tell. I want to tell folks about Camps Plants. Last year, I went out there twice, and for Mother's Day, I wanted something different and got the 2 hanging baskets.
Mm-hmm.
Very reasonably. I figured these things be like $100 a piece. They were less than 30. I got 2 of them. Lloyd says, "You take care of them. They'll last you till November." He was right on.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were beautiful arrangements, beautiful hanging baskets. We're going to be back out there this year. Instead of buying 2, I'm going to buy 4 of them, I think.
There
Plus,
you
I
go.
got some flower beds to work on, so we'll be at Camps Plants almost on a weekly basis for the next couple days.
Well, there you go.
Weeks.
You come on out.
If you want something that lasts up here, it is grown here, so it works here.
Arkansas
Absolutely.
folks working for Arkansans.
I
you go.
like that.
Absolutely.
And now there's a certain time here, it won't be long. One of the coolest things I liked is y'all, when a bird decides to take up home in one of y'all's hanging baskets, y'all just put a sign on there to leave the birds alone.
We do.
I think that is extremely
That's
cool.
cool.
Well, you guys are looking at my 4 boys sitting in here. Do you know what they'd do to me if I took a bird nest and let it go home with somebody else?
You have a point. You have a point.
I'm pretty sure there's still one left on the back dock out at 62 that has been vacated, but that thing don't move. Do you understand?
That is cool.
But yeah, especially if we see that a bird has set up residency in one of our hanging baskets. Normally we try to mark it and let the babies hatch and let them move on, and then a lot of times we'll dig the bird nest out and fill in the hole with something else and go ahead and let it go. But yeah, we try to be nature friendly in that sense.
I thought that was very cool. Y'all had a sign up there, please do not disturb the birds. Or something.
Folks, go out and visit Camps Plants today in Mountain Home Inn at Midway. I got to squeeze this in real quick.
Okay.
Tonight at the fairgrounds, 6 o'clock, a free fish fry by John 3:16 Spiritual Boot Camp. The event is for awareness of what's available for men in our area. They're down in Batesville, Arkansas. They're going to be at the fairgrounds tonight at 6. Community-wide fish fry, John 3:16's ministry. And let me encourage folks to go visit Camps Plants. I tell you what, you'll not be disappointed. They have everything you want. It is awesome.
Can I go to the playground?
We had some fine boys here. Yeah, fade her up now, Jerry. There you go. Bring it up. Bring the music up.
Music up. All right. Here
That
we
wraps it up. We'll be back tomorrow. Time for the Rush Morning Update, followed by Glenn Beck.
All right. Have a good day.